Welcome to today's Java Break, in which we take you all on a walk through Add-on Software by Barista. My name is Paul Yeomans with Basis International, and today I'll be joined by Nico Spence, our Chairman and CEO. After logging into the solution, you're presented with the Add-on Software MDI frame and the menu options on the upper left portion of the screen. The upper panel displays the modules, and we've selected the Accounts Payable module. The tasks associated with the selected module, in this case AP, are displayed in the lower panel. Commonly used tasks are displayed open for easy launching, while other less used tasks are neatly organized into folders. Let's select the Accounts Receivable module from the upper panel, and you'll notice that the associated tasks with AR have been adjusted down below. We're going to select Maintenance. We're going to select the Customer's task to launch the Customer Master Record. In the Customer ID field, we're going to enter 100. And this is our demo data. Customer 100 is Everest Industries. Notice the comfortable modern screen layout with tabs across the top, each of which will display additional information, and the buttons at the bottom of the window are almost self-explanatory, but let's go through them. First one will clear the form in anticipation of creating a new customer record. This will delete the record if this was activated. It would typically be an administrative function. And these navigation keys will walk forward through the demo data of different customer records we've created here. The binoculars are used to query files, and we also have additional options here that display in a drop-down, and we can launch them directly from here. Let's go back up into the main body, and we're going to select the Profile tab. This is going to display information for Everest Industries typically associated with order entry. Next to each of the profile fields, notice the magnifying glass lookup to quickly access all records for that particular type of field. We'll go down here to Freight Terms, and we'll launch it. We can see that we've got 3 different terms that have been created in the demo data. Double click on that, and it populates that field, and then the field is described. Let's go to the next tab, Aging and Sales Summary, and this will provide a snapshot for all the financial activity for this customer. Many of the fields throughout the software have drill downs to reveal details for that particular field. Here, the balance field is enabled with a drill down button to provide quick access to the table of invoices whose totals equal $18,024. Let's select that, and it launches that table. Here's why you should be considering Add-on Software as your ERP product of choice. Add-on Software is a product that is low risk, with a long time in the market and thousands of users. Basis International just celebrated its 25th anniversary, and Add-on actually predates Basis. Basis itself uses Add-on Software as its core ERP solution with significant customizations. It's a reliable, robust solution, and much like the Basis technology upon which it's built, we can scale it from 1 or 2 users all the way up to hundreds of users. It's competitively priced. We've priced the product competitively at the low end and scaled it right up to the many hundred user site systems. Our user-based model is flexible and meets the competitive pricing requirement. We recognize that in order for our product to be successful, you need to be successful. So we've designed a supportive partner program. Within that program, we have a unique co-op community that gives the ability to partner with us in the whole process of delivering the solution, including participation in developing the solution. We provide you with access to the source code, so you are able to customize the solution to meet your customers' requirements. And remember, we give you the ability to preserve those customizations through an upgrade. We have a building block architecture that lets you focus on your vertical market instead of the rather mundane standard accounting and distribution building blocks. It empowers you with tight integration by allowing you to bring your custom screens written in raw BBJ and integrate them into the Barista look and feel that's found in Add-on Software.
You'll often hear us referring to the Add-on Software development project as well as the partnership program as being a commercial open source project and partnership program. What does that really mean? Let's talk about the uniqueness of this partnership program. There is an optional component to it whereby you can produce or deliver some of your work product to the project as a whole. So it's a cooperative development component, and we can refer to it as the co-op program. There are many ways of receiving a benefit from your cooperation. Firstly, is you can participate and reduce your monthly fee, a traditional fee that is paid for participation and access to discounts in the partnership program. Secondly, you can receive product credits from your contributions. That means that your contributions towards the project allow you to increase your margins when you resell the product. And finally, you have a say in the direction of the development of the ERP solution as a whole. A very powerful enabler, which is very common to the open source development projects in the community. Let's have a look at some comparisons on why one would consider using this commercial open source approach. Let's look at the elements of a traditional ERP type partner program. You often have a strong company in a traditional VAR environment that is certainly present. Open source is perhaps more of a loosely coupled cooperative effort from various partners with vested interests in the solution. And then in commercial open source, you still have that ownership element by a strong company. The source code in a traditional VAR environment is generally available, or sometimes available, after a significant payment made to the owners of the product. In open source, obviously that source code is available to everyone, and similarly in our commercial open source approach. In terms of the revenue streams that one has, service revenue is certainly available in the traditional VAR program environment. In open source, it's the key component of the revenue stream available to those that contribute towards the project. And in commercial open source, the same applies. Sales revenue. This is a very strong differentiating factor. Traditional VAR channel, that is certainly where you derive the majority of your revenue, is from the sale of the product, the on sale of the product to the end user. Open source, of course, there is no selling price to the product. It is open source by its very nature. There is no price to sell the product. Commercial open source, as the name suggests, is it still has a commercial value. There's a street value that is associated with it. And in addition to that, there is an opportunity to increase one's margin. So depending upon your contribution to the project, instead of having margins that may range from 20% to perhaps at the high end of 50% margin in traditional VAR channel, here you have the opportunity from your contributions to earn up to 100% margin on the sale of the product. Product management by supplier, certainly that's necessary in the traditional VAR way. In the open source arena, well, of course, there's no supplier, so there cannot be any product management by the supplier. Commercial open source, that is certainly the case. Basis provides that management component for the product. In terms of development tools, traditional VAR channel often provide you with development tools. Open source, one gleans those from the community. In the commercial open source environment, in the case where Basis is both a provider of the development tools, the language, as well as the building blocks, we provide a plethora of tools to make sure that that development runs smoothly. Let's have a look at some of the other components. Cooperative development tools, the traditional VAR world, generally not available unless you're part of that fee-paid open source or access to source code component, and generally those tools are few and far between. Open source, naturally enough, there's a need to have the ability for diverse entities to be able to cooperatively work on the same product, and similarly in our world, we've leveraged those open source tools like SVN to provide remote access and remote contributions towards that common product. Top to bottom support. Traditional VAR channel, not so much. Perhaps in the Microsoft world, you have a top to bottom approach, but there seem to be siloed efforts on that front. Open source, not really. You're going to need to weave in the various components of open source projects to make a fully sustainable solution. In our world, we provide that top-to-bottom approach. Both access to third-party Java libraries, we integrate those into our solution in the form of utility building blocks from Basis, as well as the Basis development tools right down to the language. So leveraging that access to the development team that makes the core product, makes the top-to-bottom support a lot more sustainable and powerful than alternative sources. Revenue from upgrades or rentals and maintenance. Traditional VAR channel, naturally enough, as a component of the product sale, future upgrades and access to software asset management is a component of that. Open source, naturally not. Everything by its very nature is open source and doesn't have a cost to it. One relies on service revenue, training, and perhaps documentation. On the commercial open source world, again, revenue from upgrades or rental maintenance is readily available. You have one has the partnership discount through the channel, as well as the opportunity to increase those margins through contributions to the project. Revenue from installation, training, and customization across the board, very much the same. So very distinct differences between those three approaches, and we believe we blended the best of both worlds from the traditional VAR channel to the open source into what we're terming a commercial open source partnership program and development effort that everybody benefits from: the end users, the developers, and the suppliers.